As per multiple reports, Russian forces have taken control of the Chernobyl power plant in northern Ukraine, which, as you know, is the site of the world's worst nuclear disaster, and according to Ukrainian officials, the staff on site is even being held hostage. A spokesperson for the State Agency of Ukraine on Exclusion Zone Management said that the troops took over the plant on the very first day of Russia's massive invasion. The Ukrainian presidential advisor also said that the control of the Chernobyl zone was only lost after a fierce battle. According to Mr. Podolyak, the condition of the plant's nuclear waste storage facilities is still unknown, which is quite worrisome to say the least. Podolyak goes on to say, after a completely senseless Russian attack in this direction, it is impossible to say that Chernobyl is safe. This is one of the most serious threats to Europe today. The White House also said that they were outraged upon learning from credible reports that Russian troops were holding staff of the Chernobyl facilities hostage. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki said to the press in her briefing, "This unlawful and dangerous hostage-taking, which could upend the routine civil service efforts required to maintain and protect the nuclear waste facilities, is obviously incredibly alarming and greatly concerning." She then told reporters that they condemn the actions and request that they release the area, which I don't really think is going to happen anytime soon. Earlier in the day, Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky attempted to warn the world that Russian forces were headed towards the plant to seize control. In a tweet, Zelensky says, "Russian occupation forces are trying to seize the Chernobyl area. Our defenders are giving their lives so that the tragedy of 1986 will not be repeated. Reported this to @SwedishPM. This is a declaration of war against the whole of Europe." And a lot of people in the comment section were asking Zelensky why he would be worried about the Russian troops taking over an area like Chernobyl. The reason why they are so worried about the state of this plant is because with Russian troops shooting and bombing near that plant area, it could trigger an explosion that would basically wipe out a large portion of the EU. It is a major stronghold point for Russia right now to have taken over. And according to Axios, the Ukrainian Foreign Ministry also issued a similar warning that this takeover could result in another disaster in the city. The ministry goes on to say, "In 1986, the world saw the biggest technological disaster in Chernobyl. If Russia continues the war, Chernobyl can happen again in 2022. More recently, the German foreign minister said that now the EU will be putting even greater sanctions against Russia that will personally target Putin. As the minister arrived for a meeting with her EU counterparts in Brussels, the German minister said, "They are responsible for the death of innocent people in Ukraine. They are responsible that the international system is trampled, and we as Europeans do not accept that." Al Jazeera also reported that Russia is suggesting that they are ready for talks with Ukraine, but that request was also made after they called for Kiev to lay down their arms and warned that they could never recognize Zelensky's government as democratic. However, Al Jazeera's Bernard Smith, who was reporting from Moscow, said, "It is worth reminding people that the current Ukrainian president was elected in 2019 with a landslide 73% share of the vote, so he was democratically elected. But clearly the problem for the Kremlin is Zelensky, and whether they will be able to have talks while he remains in power is unclear." And my heart truly goes out to the people of Ukraine right now. I can't imagine what they must be going through. I'd love to hear your thoughts on all of this though, because that's all the time that we have for today. So for now, stay safe, and I'll see you on the next one.